What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Rich. Real Talk with Rich is back in the building one more again. Want to shout out to Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever fam. Want to send a special shout out to the people over at Lords of the Long Box. Condolences to them. Rest in peace and rest in power to TiVo. Right now they're doing a live stream and a tribute. And so from what I understand, our man Derek, who is not producing tonight, is going to be over there checking them out and giving BCL our presence. And so we just want to send our condolences out to him and to the whole fam over there. But we have a show tonight. We want to go ahead and get to it. What's going on? Want to thank you guys for joining us. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're not new to the channel, you just go ahead and hit the like button. And if you're feeling a little generous on tonight, please send us a super chat. And yeah, man. So a lot of things are going on in the world, and you know, this is our opportunity to get away from that and just talk about comics and things of that nature. And just glad to be here, man. I tell you, it's been an interesting week. And so with that said, we're gonna go ahead and get into our show. Our first segment tonight comes low-hanging fruit. We're gonna get into a couple of articles tonight, and we're gonna just kind of run through this thing and try to get out the street, you know, as I like to say. Our first article is a comic book movie article, and it's talking about the Blade movie, okay? If you've been under a rock, if you have not been keeping your ear to the ground or in these internet streets, word is out that Mahershala Ali has left the Blade project. Now, we do not have 100% confirmation on this, but people are talking about it for this reason. Question is Blade dead at Marvel Studios? Here's the latest on the status of the MCU reboot. The news broke last night that Mahershala Ali is in talks to star in the Universal Pictures' upcoming Jurassic World reboot, seemingly leaving the status of Marvel Studios' long-planned Blade reboot up in the air. And though we have not had any official updates on the project, Jurassic World 4 is said to be gearing up for a mid-June shoot, which is also around the time Blade is or was expected to begin filming. So it seems highly unlikely that Ali will be lining up for this Jurassic World role if he was still planning to play the Daywalker, unless the MCU project has been hit with yet another delay or has been canceled altogether. Blade has been, of course, plagued with production woes ever since it was first announced 4 years ago, and going through a number of directors and writers. The project seemed to be back on track after a recent Production Weekly update claimed that shooting was set to commence this fall, but we recently learned that the movie had yet hit another bump in the road, with a new writer being sought to give the script another major overhaul. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have jokingly said that this movie is cursed. I still believe that. I don't think this movie is going to happen. And with you know, Ali taking perhaps another project on and starting the film, yeah, this is pretty much dead in the water, y'all. Y'all looking for a Blade movie, you can forget about it. You won't get no Blade movie before 2025. We definitely know that. It may be 2026 before a Blade movie is actually done. It was just recently announced that they had a new writer. They're overhauling the script. I don't know why they're having so many problems with the script. It makes no sense to me. But this is what's going on with this movie. So, you know, I have just forgotten. You know what? It's just, I've forgotten all about this project. I'm enjoying Blade in the comics right now through the Blood Hunt series and his own stuff that Brian Edward Hill has been writing. And so I can't even say I'm going to miss it or I'm really tripping. Yeah. So, you know, guys, it is what it is. So let's have a moment of silence for the Blade movie. Yeah, that's enough. Next article. There's another comic book movie article. Giancarlo Esposito joins Captain America Brave New World. As a spoiler, truth about the reshoots have been revealed. Like many of the 2024 movies, Captain America Brave New World was caught up in last year's WGA SAG-AFTRA strikes. Much has been made of the plans for reshoots, and thanks to Hollywood Reporter, we finally have an idea what is going on. It has now been confirmed that Breaking Bad and The Boys and The Mandalorian star, excuse me, Giancarlo Esposito has joined the cast of Captain America Brave New World. He's part of the reshoots, and according to THR, is officially on the call sheet in an undisclosed but sources say villainous role. So yes, he's playing another baddie. There's still no word as to what that might be, though. There's a lot of speculation online about Esposito potentially playing Jake Fury, the younger brother of Nick Fury. The actor previously confirmed that he'll make a cameo appearance in an MCU movie before taking on a larger role in a TV series. Captain America Brave New World's cast includes Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford, Danny Ramirez, Carl Lumbly, Tim Blake Nelson, Shira Haas, Liv Tyler, Zoe Rockmore, and WWE superstar Seth Rollins. So we know Isaiah Bradley was going to be in this movie, if nothing else. Julius Onhan also helms the movie from a screenplay by Malcolm Spellman and Delan Masson, though the writers or the directors believed to have also taken a pass at it. Matthew Orton, meanwhile, has written new scenes for the additional photography, which is now taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. Captain America Brave New World is set to arrive in theaters on February the 14th, 2025. So yeah, that's kind of good news. I'm not mad to see Esposito in the MCU. They need something, man. They need something. Something. It would be ironic that this movie might actually be pretty good. And with Isaiah Bradley being in the movie, Carl Lumbly reprising his role from Falcon and the Winter Soldiers, I think I'm here for that. So I'm not tripping about Cap Falcon. I wish he was just Falcon. But all of that canon sake aside, I'm actually kind of looking forward to this movie, if nothing else, to see Isaiah Bradley. So yeah, that's what's up with that. Our next article is an IGN article. We're a comic book group, so let's talk about some comics. IGN just recently talked about a new crossover story that is going to happen at Marvel. Ultraman and Avengers unites as heroes from the East and West in new crossover series. The Avengers are keeping plenty busy with new crossovers this summer, fresh off the news that Earth's mightiest heroes are battling xenomorphs. That's the aliens for y'all in the alien universe. Marvel and Tubusara Productions have announced a new crossover comic called Ultraman X Avengers. Ultraman X Avengers serves as the continuation of the Marvel presence, I should say, for Ultraman, and features the same creative team, writers Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom and artist Francisco Manna. The series teams Ultraman with the Avengers and other heroes like Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Here's the official description of the new 4-issue limited series. According to this, Spider-Man has disappeared from New York, and an intergalactic invader has arrived on Ultraman's doorstep, and the kaiju of Earth are acting even more mysteriously than usual. This can only mean one thing. It's time for Ultraman to meet the Avengers. But what cosmic threat is great enough to require a team of Marvel's mightiest champions and Japan's greatest heroes? Find out that Shin meets Sam, Spacium Ray meets Repulsor Ray, and Flip and Shuwatch. That's the little thing that he does in this epic crossover event. According to this, it says, of course, we are excited to be back more than ever with Ultraman, but especially for such a meaningful event. This is the first time Ultraman will meet the Avengers, despite them having so much in common, both being created in the 1960s, both being arguably the most popular and successful superheroes in their respective countries of origin. Being able to tell the story of this historic meeting and discovering how they interact, the ways in which they are different and what they have to learn from each other, is a tremendous privilege. So with that said, Ultraman Avengers #1 will be available August the 14th, 2024. So that's coming up pretty soon, toward the end of the summer. So, I'm an Ultraman guy. I grew up watching Ultraman on TV, so I'm looking forward to this. It's a 4-issue mini. Miles Morales is going to be a part of it, so I'm here for it. I'm going to check it out. I hope you guys pick it up too. Put it on your pull list. You know what I'm saying? Make that happen. So with that said, I want to shout everybody out that's joining us tonight. I didn't do that shout out at the beginning, so I want to greet you guys formally like I normally would do. So what's going on, Bot Boy? I see you in here. What up, Jamie Odell? Smooth Approach. It's good to see you. Amani Manifesto. Pericles. What up, what up, what up? 1 in 100 podcast. I see you in here. Groovy Faye. See you. What's going on? Hallelujah. Good to see y'all. Man, Pericles, what's good with you, bro? Hadn't seen you in a minute. I know you've been around. Where's my man Frustrate? I got to get with Frustrate. Frustrated, I got to get at him about some of the stuff that's getting ready. Football season is getting ready to start. And I need to talk to him about them doggone Washington Commanders. Yeah. Speaking of cursed venues. So shout out to everybody that's here. So hopefully he'll pop in pretty soon. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for joining. And if you come in the door, please hit the like the video. We're just getting started. We're only 12 minutes in. But with that said, I'm going to take a commercial break. I'm going to ask my producer tonight, Paul. Shout out to him, who's taking over the production duties on tonight. I just want him to take us to commercial real quick. When we come back, we're going to talk about some MD Bright books, some notable MD Bright comic books. And we're going to talk about the tribute or the lack thereof as well. So stay tuned, get you a drink, snack or whatever, stretch your legs. We got a little ways to go. Be right back.
What's good, Comic Fam? I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Concrete Comics, and I'm also pretty sure you guys are familiar with Freestyle Comics. Well, what if I told you they were partnering together and give you guys an amazing promo code? So listen, here's the deal. You go to any one of these websites, you're going to save 20% off by using this promo code. Now, if you spend more than $50, you're going to get free shipping. You can't beat this. And when I talk to you about industry standard or better storylines and art, I mean, you're really not beating Freestyle Comics. You're definitely not beating Concrete Comics. Listen, this is not a sponsorship. I've literally read all of these books and they're fire. So stop crying and start buying. Concrete Comics, Freestyle Comics, joining forces. Make sure you use this promo code. You're going to get 20% off. You spend more than $50, you're going to get free shipping. We out.
We back. Yeah, shout out to Concrete Comics and Freestyle Comics. We're going to talk a little Freestyle Comics a little bit later on. But for now, I want to talk a little bit about MD Bright. And before I get to the comic books I want to talk about, I want to talk about the lack of tribute that DC in particular and Marvel have not done, and why I'm bothered by it. I want you guys to slip this into the suggestion box at somebody at Marvel and DC, because I'm about to get at them. I'm about to go in on them, and I have my reasons for going in on them about this. Apart from Mark D. Bright being an amazing artist, it just kind of shows you the level or the lack of melanin that exists around Marvel. Y'all put out a lot of black books with black characters, but yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. You might say, Rich, what you talking about? What you getting at? I'm getting to it. But what I need you guys to know is that Mark M.D. Bright died on March 27, 2024. He died in March. Okay? March 27th of this year. It is June the 2nd. No tribute, not a page, not a back page, not a splash page, nothing. And I have a problem with that. I don't know who's dragging their feet at DC. I don't know who's dragging their feet at Marvel. I don't even want to talk about value because I really don't expect anything from value. But the big two, I expect a little bit more from the big two. Why is this an issue for me? I'll tell you why. Do you know that George Perez died May 6, 2022? George Perez, well-known Wonder Woman writer, among other titles. He died May 6, 2022. But DC had tributes in their books in June. He died in May. Okay? He died May 2022. And they had tributes in the June books. Last time I checked, June or May, then there's June. Okay? So literally a month later, they had tributes in their books. Let me get at Marvel. John Romita Sr., he died June 12th, 2023. There were tributes in all the books in August of 2023. Where's the tribute, Marvel and DC? Where is it? Where is it? Especially DC. Especially DC. We hadn't seen it. You have no excuses. You have no excuses. I'm not going to ask where the tribute is because the tribute clearly, you have no interest in doing it. From where I sit, you guys have no interest in doing it. Y'all going to have to prove me wrong. But you're trash for doing this. Y'all should put some respect on that artist's name. He put in a lot of work, worked on a lot of books. You should be ashamed of yourselves, DC. Especially DC. You should be ashamed of yourselves. But this is what Black artists that work at these two companies, this is what they go through. This is the reality of why it's so important to honor and celebrate Black artists. Little things like this. Now I'm gonna be a little not arrogant, but I'm gonna be a little. I'm gonna stand on my square when I say this. Where would y'all be without Black comic lords? Because I don't know nobody else that's asking the question. Where's the MD Bright tribute? I don't know nobody else is doing this except us. Now I could be wrong, but I hadn't seen nobody else ask the question. I just need answers, DC. I need answers, Marvel. You literally gave George Perez a tribute after he passed away. Now, of course, maybe you had that lined up after he would pass that you was going to do this. I'll even allow for that. But it's been, the man died in May. I mean, he died in March. It's June. Miss me with that. Miss me with that foolishness. Now, Paul, he's had the hashtag up under his name, doing his Wakanda whiskey and blur them shows. He's gonna probably have that on there, whatever. But I'm done with you guys. I'm not even talking about this no more. I'm not talking about it no more. But I will ask the question: where would we be without Black comic lords talking about this or raising awareness as this is what's going on in 2024 with Black artists at the big two? A writer, a creator that has been working for decades for these companies. Bleeding Cool. Bleeding Cool. And all of these internet spaces talk more about this than anybody. But Marvel and DC, y'all should have been first and foremost. You guys should have been upfront with this. Yeah. So I'm very, very irritated, frustrated. And so since you guys will not give MD Bright the tribute, I'm going to, at Real Talk with Rich, do my own tribute by highlighting some books that MD Bright did. One of the first books that MD Bright did at DC, or I should say at Marvel, was Avengers 224. That book there. Avengers 224, this is the first work he did for Marvel. Issue 224 in 1982. That book there. So if you want the first MD Bright book that he did at Marvel, it's that book right there. Avengers 224. That's his first work he did at Marvel. So y'all should want to cop that. If we're going to give this guy tribute, we should put that book should be in our collection. If you're a Black collector and you love comic books and you love collecting Black artists and stuff like that, that book should be in your collection. And that book doesn't go for a lot of bread. You can find that book. Next book I want to highlight. House of Mystery, 257. He has artwork in this book right here. House of Mystery 257 was made back in 1978, and this is one of his earliest works, if not his earliest. So as far as DC stuff goes, this is the earliest work he did. He did a backstory in this book. There's a couple of stories in this book, but his work is in this particular book, one of his first DC stories he ever did. The next DC book is Ghost 100 in 1981. Mark Bright, y'all. So this is a artist who's been around, who has been working for DC and Marvel since the 70s, early 80s. I think he deserves a little respect. These are just a couple of books that I wanted to highlight that he did. I'm just, I try not to think about it because all I'm gonna do is get mad the more I think about it. When I was thinking about what I want to talk about this week on the show, I just kind of thought about him and I was like, have I given DC and Marvel enough time to do something? So let me just go back. Let me just pull out a couple of, writers, popular artists that have passed away. Let me see what they did in response to them dying. And I was kind of sad. So yeah, I was a little irritated. So yeah. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that we have to give awareness. We have to show awareness. This is why Black Comic Lords is important. He's done a lot of different things, but I just wanted to highlight these particular 3 books or whatever because these are earlier books. These are not modern books. Copper Age books, Silver Age books, maybe Copper, I think. But anyway, point is, these are our artists. And if anybody's going to honor them, it should be us. We can't clearly wait for these corporations to do that we have been empowered to do. That's why Black Comic Lords is here. That's why I asked the question. If we weren't talking about this, who else is talking about this? Because I don't know nobody else. And that's not to say that they're not, or they haven't. I haven't heard nobody talk about it. Not nobody that look like no melanated people I know. Yeah. Pretty damn sad. Absolutely. It is what it is, y'all. So I just wanted to talk about that real quick tonight. So if y'all see the people at DC and Marvel, just ask them, where's the MD Bright tribute? Where is that? Because we hadn't seen it. And he wasn't just another artist. Let's be clear about that. He wasn't just another artist. This guy has history. He's been in historical books. He's done historical things. So we're not asking you to honor an average artist. No, we're asking you to honor an excellent artist. And I could really shoot some slugs at Valiant, but they can't make up their mind what they want to do over there at Valiant, so I'm going to leave them alone. Even though Quantum and Woody, one of their best titles over there, was drawn by him and written by Christopher Priest. I could be salty about that, but you got to put out some comic books, Valiant, before you can even do that. So, yeah. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and transition. So peace and blessings to his family. And we're going to stay on y'all neck, Marvel and DC, especially DC, until y'all do right by Mark Wright. We're going to go ahead and transition. I want to talk about Advent Comics #1, or a comic book that just came out, Soulmate, issue 1 by Advent Comics. Shout out to Tony Cottrell and the squad over there. This is the one shot that came out this week, was in the stores. I hope you guys were able to pick this up. Now, on a scale of, if I have to rate this particular book, I'm talking about story and art and all that. If I have to, if out of 5 stars, I would give it 3. There were some plot holes that I kind of could not ignore, but it's a one shot. So, you know what I'm saying? There's only so much you can do with a one shot anyway. But it's a nice love story. This is a superhero who's trying to, superheroes got a superhero, right? But when, love is in the midst of it, it's hard to have a relationship when your mission is to save the world or save people in the world. It's kind of hard to do that. If you're going to be in love with somebody, you got to spend time with that person. But what do you do when your significant other is the superhero? What do you do? And it is what it is, but it's a good story. I think it's pretty cool. There's a similar story that happened at Freestyle Comics. They put out a book, the Hot Shot issue 0 is similar to that. So there's a lot of love. A lot of love came out this week. Black superhero love. Paul and I and Mark and others always talk about black superhero love. And so this is one of the books that came out and a lot of people were looking for it, because we don't really get a lot of stories with relationships in it. We don't get a lot of stories with a lot of love or romance in it, and I felt Paul's pain when he talked about Miles Morales and Starling be the only black superhero love couple in existence. And now that Miles is dating Kamala Khan, I guess, we getting black interracial love, I guess. I don't know. But either way, you know what I'm saying? I can't front. So Soulmate is a solid book. Like I said, I give it out of 5 stars. I give it 3. I really enjoyed it for what it was. You know what I'm saying? And so this is not going to, this is not a cutting edge book, but it's a book that if you're somebody that likes to read about, love and romance and in the superhero genre, and I think people, because for so many years, people have had Reed Richards and Sue Richards and have had Jean Grey and Cyclops, and even I would say Storm and T'Challa to a certain degree. We don't really see a whole lot of it. We don't really see a whole lot of these kind of books, and so shout out to the good people over at you know Advent Comics for doing their thing and putting out this one shot. Yeah. So that's what I want to talk about tonight. Also, we just had the commercial done, and Herschel talked about freestyle comics or whatever. Check those guys out. You know what I'm saying? They got some dope books over there as well. Hot Shot is a dope book. That book there, I love that cover. And I'll be honest, shout out to Freestyle, but that was a cover buy for me. But that particular book, you know what I'm saying? This is a book where, he's Hot Shot's a superhero. He's dating this girl, but he's a superhero. What do you do when you're a superhero? Right? What do you do? Where do you find the time to have romance? But every time you turn around, something happens. And you gotta stop what you're doing and you gotta save people. It is what it is. So but Hot Shot was a fun read. I think that I'm going to definitely invest in a little bit more of their titles or whatever. There's another superhero in the book that's a part of the freestyle universe. What's going on, Vagrant? Good to see you. But yeah, this book. Now I will say, I like this book a little bit more than the Advent book. So out of 5 stars, I give this one 3.5. Just for the idea of it. This is kind of like one of those things where, hey, this is a guy who's just found out he got superpowers and he's trying to balance life. He's trying to, have a personal life and, be a superhero at the same time. It doesn't always work that way. So that's the thing about, if superheroes were for real, how could they really be superheroes? Because let's say, for example, that you decide you want to spend an evening with your lady, right? You put together a super duper date or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But something happens where, you know what I'm saying, you know what, I'm not answering the call at night. Somebody else gotta handle it. And something bad happens. And you could have stepped in and saved the day. So I mean, guys, it's rough out here in these Superman streets. What's going on? Hollow Point says Mark D. Bright's Avengers 224 is only $8 at my comic shop. Yep. And that's Mark D. Bright's first work in Marvel. So y'all go get that. Gordon Mahan says Marvel, DC, Milestone have no excuse. The Comics Journal utilized Mark D. Bright on April the 10th. I mean, look, it is what it is, guys. I don't know what's going on in the comic book spaces. I know in the comic book fan spaces, we are more active than the corporations. And that's kind of pathetic. But it is what it is. I don't know. I do not understand it. I do not know. I'm not going to. Me and Paul go back and forth with Milestone, and I'm not gonna talk about Milestone tonight. I'm gonna leave Milestone alone. Though I could definitely go in on Milestone behind Mark D. Bright. Ugh. Lord have mercy. What's going on, Darth? First, good to see you. Zura B says, Amani says his girl Carla got issues. Mike and I have debated this. She do. Look, listen. I'm not gonna spoil the story, but the story, I'm gonna be honest, the story definitely resonates. The story definitely resonates. Yeah. So yeah, that's dope. Missouri B says, have another hero cover for you. Okay, I'm not sure what that's in reference to. But he asked earlier, isn't Kamala in college? I think she is. I mean, she's old enough to go on dates with Miles. So, hey, it is what it is. One-on-one podcast, OG, I wasn't going to say nothing, but Miles though been too quiet as well. Well, that's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say. Yes, it's triggering. Yeah, man, it is. It is. And again, I don't need to I'm not bringing the gender war into these comic book spaces, okay? We're not doing that. But yeah, it's a little triggering for sure. But I think I like it because at least the creators were like, you know what, we're going to bring some real life stuff into this kind of. So there is an element of that in there. So it's like I said, it's a cool comic book. I think you guys will enjoy it. Yeah. So with that said, the only thing I have left, and we're gonna hit the chat, we're gonna start talking chat talk, whatever you guys want to talk about. I want to shout out Rodney Barnes. Now, Rodney Barnes has got a lot of accolades. He's killing it with Philadelphia. He's killing it with Zombie Love Studios. And the guy just happens to write at Marvel as well. But Rodney Barnes quietly has become the guy at Marvel in the Star Wars universe. Quietly has become the guy. Rodney Barnes started off with a one-shot, IG-88. He then wrote two seasons of The Mandalorian. And he's getting ready to write Ahsoka. And he's writing a book called The Inquisitors. All Star Wars stuff. I don't know what, I guess Marvel is like, you know what, we need this dude on our staff. So shout out to Marvel for doing that. DC, I'll sleep at the wheel. Oh, he says he started off with Lando. He did. I keep forgetting about Lando. But I mean, he did the Lando like years ago. And then I guess he came back. But this modern stuff that he's done for Star Wars, I'm like, I only know anybody who's written that many different books at Star Wars. I know Greg Pak has wrote a lot of Darth Vader books. But who else do y'all know as far as Star Wars stuff other than Charles Cholet? Him, Greg Pak, and Rodney Barnes. I don't know anybody else. I don't really know the other Star Wars writers. I just know those three guys. And Rodney Barnes is writing a lot of dope stuff, a lot of new stuff, I should say. So yeah, he's writing the Inquisitors story. So y'all remember the Inquisitors from the was it not Ahsoka? It was the I'm drawing a blank. It was the Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus. Yeah. Gordon Mahan also says, and the Inquisitors is original material. There it is, which makes it also canon. Yeah. Yeah. So shout out to Rodney Barnes, man. I mean, that dude is just getting bread all over the place. And I'm tripping because I'm like, when does he have time to do all this stuff? Okay, when does he have time to do all this stuff? He's doing Philadelphia, he's doing all this other stuff. He's doing the Black Hitler stuff. And he writes for Marvel. It's Marvel Star Wars. It's just incredible, man. So shout out to him. Shout out to him. Yeah. So with that said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and transition to chat talk. This is part of the show where we talk to you. What's on your mind? What you're thinking about? What's going on with y'all? What you have? Ask me anything type of thing. He said, "Man, what's up with Philadelphia though?" Well, I'm not sure when the next Philadelphia series is coming out or the next book is coming out. I can wait for it. I can. I'm not even tripping. I am not even tripping. I can wait for it. We did get confirmation though that speaking of independent books or whatever, that Bitterroot is coming back soon. So all you guys, I know Amir, you've been screaming, "Where's Bitterroot? Where's Bitterroot? Where's Bitterroot?" Shout out to my man Derek. Derek talked to Sanford Green. Sanford Green signed him a lot of books, and he kind of let it go that Bitterroot is coming back soon. So yeah. Now H&A says, "I just hope he has enough time to get the Philadelphia show out there." Oh yeah, that's gonna come, bro. I'm not even tripping. I'm not tripping about the Philadelphia. I know it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You know, they cooking gumbo. It's gumbo. It's not macaroni and cheese. They taking their time with it. So if he said about damn time. Yeah, it's coming back, bro. I mean, a lot of Quadrant Minds wanted to know. So yeah. So shout out to Sanford Green, David Walker, and all those guys over there, man. They had a all-star squad on that book, which is why I did. Yeah, Vicious. Somebody, did you see Vicious Circle is finishing in August? Yes, I do know about that. Looking forward to the third issue, and yeah, and the art on that book is just crazy. That's one of the craziest books as far as good art. I'm like, I'm not really an art guy. I love art, but I'm not just really an art guy like that. But that's literally like in my humble opinion, that's almost like coffee table worthy type art. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just that good. So shout out to those guys. So Black comic book history. I'm trying to figure out this Soul Love Kirby book. Okay, I mean, what you want to know about it, Imani? Actually, hold on a second. Let's see. Where do I have it? Yeah, hold on. Okay. I had to go through the portal. I had to go through the portal, like they like to say. And you can get this book. I don't know if you have this book, Imani, but you can get this book here. Jack Kirby's Dingbat Love. And in this book is the Soul Love books. The whole thing. Okay. There's some history. Let me tell you something. This is a good book to have for a number of reasons. All right. Now, I want you to just look. Pick this out, Imani. Pick this out. So, in this book here, okay, this is the Dingbats. So you might want to pick this up, bro. I'm gonna get to y'all comments in a minute, but let me talk to my man Imani real quick. So this book, Dingbats, this is Jack Kirby's book, right? In the book, he has a lot of history, a little love, romances, stuff with Matt Baker in it, all kind of stuff, right? Negro romance. It's a little write-up about these different books, all Negro comics. It's a pretty good thing. So turn a few pages over, and this was in the book here. Some dope art by Jack Kirby. This is Jack Kirby stuff. Okay. Now it gets better though, bro. So you got that. Then you have a big write-up about Jack Kirby's, relationship, his artwork, his desire to do this book. Okay. And you actually get the book itself. The comic itself is in this book. Okay. You got that. And all of the pages. Now, and it's all in color. Jack Kirby. So go get that, bro. Go get that. I promise you. You want that book, bro. So let's see what we got going on. It says Blood Hunt storyline is 59 issues. Yeah. Smooth approach. Shout out to all of y'all that went out and that's gonna get all 59 books. I'm not getting all 59 books, but I am getting a healthy portion of the books. So I read Black Panther. You're welcome, brother. I read Black Panther Blood Hunt. I read Midnight Sun's Blood Hunt book this week. Enjoyed both of them. So yeah. Darverse says, the older I get, the more I'm impressed with Jack Kirby. Oh, for sure, man. That dude is the GOAT. I mean, what can you say? You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want about the first Black Panther run, but he was the artist on that book. And those that Black Panther art in those first Black Panther Volume 1 books are pretty cool. Jack Kirby's dope artist. So yeah. He had a lot of I mean, dude's a legend. I'll just say it like that. Dude's a legend, and he loved doing stuff when it came to Black people. And so a lot of that with like the soul love and stuff, it kind of got, pushed to a side or whatever. I don't know the full history of what happened with that, but that was something that he had intentions to do. Him and Stan Lee creating Black Panther. Their hearts were in the quote unquote right place when they created that cap. Styles Sears said, Marvel is running pockets for the next 3 months. Hashtag Blood Hunt. Well, for sure. Look, if the books are good, we're going to buy it. It is what it is. So, but yeah. So what else is going on, guys? Thoughts on the King Spawn arc so far? Well, I just read King Spawn. I just read the latest issue without trying to spoil it or whatever. But, Spawn is he went to save Granny Blake. Cyan, which is from the original Volume 1 or the original Spawn run, is like a young lady now, teenager, I guess. And they're having a conversation. Al is having a conversation with her in that particular book. I love King Spawn. I really do. King, and this is just my opinion, King Spawn is the best Spawn book out. It's the best Spawn book out. And Jason Sean Alexander did the art in the last book, in this current book. So if you like Jason Sean Alexander's art, he is back working with Todd McFarlane at Image on the title. So yeah. Mir says, I'm 2 weeks behind on my books. He says, but when did Black Panther get bit? I haven't read Black Panther Blood Hunt yet. Oh, well, you got to go get the Black Panther. I mean, not the Black Panther. You got to get the Avengers book. They're going to make y'all get these books. I'm telling y'all. Some of y'all going to tap out and be like, you know what? I'm going to just wait till the omnibus come out. And that would seem to be the ideal thing to do with a book this big. The books that I'm not collecting, I'm going to try to collect later because those books will be half price and dollar bins at some point. But I got to be honest, I'm collecting a lot of the stuff that's, because it's just that interesting. The Doctor Strange Blood Hunt book was pretty good. Okay, can't front on that. The Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt book, pretty good. Miles Morales Blood Hunt book is getting ready to come out. That hadn't even hit the shelves yet. So, and I mean, look, guys, it is what it is. Blood Hunt 2 just came out as well. That was a great issue. I mean, ain't nobody put like this. This is a good book or a good run or a good crossover when certain people are not dissing it. I have not seen no videos dissing Blood Hunt. And here's the thing, they're not going to miss an opportunity to diss anything that Marvel puts out. And let's just keep it a stack. It's a book, it's a crossover story with a Black character at the center of it. If this was whack, they would stand in line to diss it. But they can't because it's been that good. Thinking about the Blood Hunt Omni. Imagine how big those big books would be. I'm scared of thinking Krakoa Omni. Well, you know what? Shout out to y'all. You know what? Let's give a moment of silence for the Fall of X, which finally ended. We are done with this iteration of Krakoa. Krakoa is going to be around. Let's make sure we understand that Krakoa hasn't gone anywhere, but the focus on Krakoa is gone. That story arc that Jonathan Hickman started years ago, we're done with it. Finally. Now we can get back to some X-Men stuff. And hopefully, shout out to Dr. Eve Ewing and Jeffrey Thorne. Hopefully the books that they write are amazing and will get good ratings for it. So 1 in 100 podcast says, OG, would King Spawn be a good jumping on point for someone who has never read Spawn? I think the problem with the Spawn universe is everything goes back to the original Spawn. And so there are going to be things that you will see in King Spawn and the other Spawn books that you will not understand. I think that there are points in King Spawn that you could probably jump on. If you were like wanting to jump on, let's say if you wanted to start reading King Spawn at issue 1, I would tell you to start there. Those books are not a lot of money. Matter of fact, you can get mostly King Spawn because they put out so many variants and stuff like that. You should be able to get that in a dollar bin. But I think that, you could jump on with King Spawn. But you may have questions or whatever. And you can always go online to find out certain things about certain characters that you may pop up and see. But King Spawn is kind of a self-contained book, even though it's tied in with the regular Spawn title, and it's tied in with the Scorch title, and it's tied in a little bit with the Gunslinger Spawn, but not so much. So I think that would be a cool jump-on point. Okay, says maybe at least the Spawn universe one-shot. Now that would be a good part to start. The Spawn universe one-shot. That's a thank you, Kay, for that. That's a good starting point. Try to find the Spawn universe issue 1 book. Styles So Serious says, can't lie, Black Panther Blood Hunt was pretty good. Should Eden stay on the main run? I don't know. I tell you what, though. Stay tuned because we're going to be interviewing Eden pretty soon. That's all I'm going to say for now. We're going to be interviewing her. Now, I will tell you this. If you enjoy Blood Hunt, there is a Thor book that came out. I can't think of the number of it. I don't know if it's like Thor 31 or something, issue 31, but there's a Black Panther secondary story in a Thor title in this current volume of Thor. She wrote a short story in that, and that was pretty good. So if you're enjoying her writing, you want to see some other stuff that she did a mini story in a Thor book, a Black Panther story in the Thor book with Thor. Thor's in the book with her, and Bass is in the story too. So I think you would dig that. Okay, so let's see how Eden closes this, but we'll support reading the series for sure. Look, clearly she's capable. I will say that. Given what I've read in the Thor book and given what she did in Blood Hunt, she definitely is capable. You know what I'm saying? But again, a one-shot or a miniseries is not the same as an ongoing series. So we'll see how that goes. Speaking of miniseries, we know that the Night Thrasher book finally ended. Issue 4 was the best issue out of all the books, but let's just keep it a stack. That was not really a good book. Hopefully they will bring Night Thrasher back with a better writing team. Let me be honest, a writing team and an art team. But yeah, so That just ended. What else? Spider-Man, I'm sorry, Spider-Punk Arms Race just ended. It ended at 4 issues. And that was actually issue. Shout out to, I'm having a senior moment. Oh, God. The guys that wrote, God, why is his name escaping me? I'm tripping. I'm getting old. Cody Ziegler. Thank you. Shout out to Cody Ziegler. But that book ended just recently too. But the issue number 4 was very, very fun, action-packed issue. I think that if you love art and you like the expression or whatever, you know what I'm saying, just a fun. I mean, Spider-Punk is a fun comic book character anyway, and this has been a fun book to read. I do think though, and it's just my opinion, I think certain books or certain characters or certain series should not be series. Like, it was only 4 issues. They should have just waited and did a graphic novel. They should have just did a graphic novel. Why put out 4 floppies? Let's just do a graphic novel. Charge $15 for it and give everybody a complete story. This is my thought. I mean, I'm just saying. But yeah, that finished real strong. And shout out to The Edge of the Spider-Verse, the Jessica Drew book. I read that. Enjoyed Marcus Williams' art in that book as well. Had a good time with that too. Love was all over the place this week. So yeah, that was dope. Barnes, Jason Sean Alexander, one of my favorite duos. No doubt. No doubt. Azura B says, isn't Ma underage then? Have another hero cover for you so you can go on a date. You trying to say Kamala? You trying to say Kamala robbing the cradle, bruh? We're not doing that tonight because you can't do 4 variant covers. Yeah. So what else is on your mind? Oh, speaking of DC, just for your information, pre-order, like we always like to say here. August the 27th, 2024, the Superman versus Muhammad Ali reprint or facsimile will be in stores. So for those of you that have always wanted the Superman versus Muhammad Ali, because you know it's a giant book or whatever, if you want that, you can't afford the big one or whatever, the original version of it, because they did do a reprint later on, but this is going to be a facsimile. The facsimile version of Superman versus Muhammad Ali will be available August the 27th, 2024. So go to your LCS and pre-order it if you want. But that will be out in stores. So I know that's a comic book that a lot of people are going to want to have. Yeah. So y'all stay tuned for that. Not like I said, not a whole lot of other stuff going on. The Amanda Waller stuff is kind of coming along online. I'm afraid for DC because I do think the Blood Hunt is going to suck all the air out the room, and people are going to miss the Amanda Waller. What is it? Absolute Zero or whatever it's called. Oh, Absolute Power. They're going to miss the Absolute Power series. Be careful with that, child, because you might miss that trying to get all these Blood Hunt books. So yeah, Absolute Power #1 comes out on July the 3rd. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. And Amanda Waller's origin storybook, Absolute Power Origins Issue 1, comes out on July 24th as well. So some dope stuff getting ready to come out on the DC side of things. But you got to stay tuned because right now Marvel is feasting, and Blood Hunt books can't front on them. They've been pretty good. So yeah. So anything else, guys? So you might shed blood getting all them books. Yeah, you might have to donate. You know, you might have to donate some blood. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So, what else is on you guys' mind, man? Haven't been doing a whole lot of stuff around here. I did had a, I watched some TV earlier. I watched the what is it? The Expendables, Expendables 4. I watched that and bagged and bought a bunch of books today, so that was kind of cool. For all of you guys that have been asking, I don't know. I remember somebody asked me about this. I think it was a couple weeks ago, or last week, or a couple weeks ago. A lot of people were asking me about the Godzilla -1. Godzilla -1 is now available on Netflix for streaming. You can stream it on Netflix now. So you want some kaiju in your life, some Godzilla in your life. You want to see what $15 million looks like, and a doggone good story to go with it. Go watch Godzilla -1. It's available on Netflix. So, yeah. So look, guys, I'm about to wrap this up since everybody seems like they don't want to talk. Yeah, yeah. Godzilla -1 is now on Netflix. Yes, yeah. Go check that out. So yeah. So tonight, I just wanted to come in real quick, talk about some stuff. Condolences again to the Lords of the Long Box and the loss of TiVo. This community is a very small community. It's a niche. We're a niche within a niche. But this guy here has been a part of the comic book community for years. And he had a relationship with Black Comic Lords through our producer, Derek. And Derek used to interact with these guys. And I think they've even been on the show, him and Paul, I want to say. But when we lose people in our space, it's important to know that, you know what I'm saying, people can kind of try to like do the same work, but you really can't replace people. You know what I'm saying? So Timbo was one of a kind, and I'm sure he will be missed. Watched some of the tribute show earlier, and listening to all the different people speak fondly, people in the chat speak fondly of him. And so we just want to send our condolences out to Lords of the Long Box, our fellow our fellow collectors in this comic book space. So yeah. So rest in peace, rest in power. Also want to send condolences again out to my man Paul. Paul, gave a little tribute to his uncle before he did his show on Friday night. I thought that was beautiful. So condolences to him and his family as well. One thing about us guys, we all of us have lives. We read comic books. We enjoy nerd stuff. It is what it is. But while we're doing all of that, life happens. And, our comics at times become our sanctuary. It becomes our place of peace. These little funny pages and this art and stuff, it means a lot, you know what I'm saying? And so when we have people in our space that we share time and space with, you know what I'm saying, they become very, very important to us. And we know life goes on or whatever, but for a moment, sometimes life stops. So, just understand as Darth Vader said, "Life is precious. Live, people." Yeah. Smooth approaches. Rest in peace. Rest in power. So yeah. Amani says, for your information, DC, Barda graphic novels written and drawn by Ngozi Ukazu. She's for real. I might have to check it out. I mean, but it's a young animal or young person's graphic novel. That's the only thing about it. You know, I'll probably pick it up. I did get the free comic book day, so I do have it. You know what I'm saying? So I might have to check it out for sure. So Scott Caesar says, did you see Apple's top 100 albums list? Taylor Swift and Alanis Morissette over Biggie, Frank Ocean top 5, Blasphemous, them folks strike again. Look, when it comes to music, you know, I really look. People like what they like, I guess. You know, when Jay-Z went on the Grammys and accepted his award that they gave him, Lifetime Achievement Award, he highlighted that Beyonce has won more Grammys than anybody in the history of the Grammys, but it's never won Album of the Year. And people thought that was just him shouting out his wife or whatever, but whether that came out of his mouth or whether it came out of someone else's mouth, that's facts. And so it's something very, very wrong when the person who has won more Grammys than anybody has not won the top category. That really doesn't make a lot of sense. But it is what it is. And, you know, it's like Billboard, the stuff that Billboard says and all that. I don't look to none of those things to, you know, and I love different types of music. I listen to it all. But, you know, Taylor Swift over Biggie, you know, Biggie's all right. Shout out to Biggie. I mean, but you know, again, it's you know, you got to look at who's making these lists, who's writing this stuff, and looking at it through their lens or whatever. Because to some people think that Taylor Swift is the best thing since sliced cheese. You know, it is what it is. I don't understand it. You know, Frank Ocean being top 5, that's a little disturbing. That's a little disturbing. But it is what it is. And here's the thing, you know, the music industry has devalued music. The streaming services, I should say, have devalued music. You know, it hadn't been the same since Napster. I'll say it like that. But it has progressively gotten worse as the technology has gotten better. And, you know, now, you know, you stream an album. An album has to be streamed 1 billion times for an artist to make $40,000. That's crazy. That is crazy. It seemed like with the artists having more power and control that they would be able to get more money. But that has not been the case. The record companies have been crooks throughout the years, but now the streaming services, like Scarface say, they the bad guys. So, yeah. A smooth approach, you old school for real. Jet Magazine Top 25 was legit. Yes. Yes, indeed. I think we all looked at that. I know that's one of the first things I did. My mom and dad used to get Jet Magazine, and I'd always go to the end of the book. Of course, I looked at the bathing beauty, the Jet beauty of the week. I would look at her, of course. Don't judge me. but I would go to the end of it, and I would look at the top 25. So yeah. The primal one says Grammys stay being idiotically based. There are groups / folks that should have gotten a Grammy, but they twiddled their fingers, taking forever to give them one or never giving them one at all. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the Grammys have been, it was interesting when the Grammys had the 50 years of hip hop or whatever. That was a very, very interesting thing. It was interesting to me because I remember all of those artists back in the day when they were boycotting hip hop, and they wouldn't put hip hop on TV, and the artists were boycott. I remember that. I remember that vividly. I remember reading about it in source and rap pages. I remember reading about this stuff and seeing this stuff. This was before the internet, of course. And to see them go to make this quote unquote transition, and now we love hip hop because you didn't think hip hop was going to be around for 50 years. I think that, number one. Number two, you know what I'm saying? You wind up with egg on your face because it wound up being the top genre in the world. It's starting to crack, but we can't ignore the fact that it's the top genre in the world now. And so now they look stupid. And so when they put this tribute on or whatever, it always was, it's always one of those things where, okay, are you going to have the real artists on there? KRS-One was like, nah, KRS-One was real petty. He's like, nope, you don't love hip hop. And they tried to give a 12-minute tribute for a 50-year genre. Good luck with that. Mine is laughing at me. Jet Beauty of the Week. That's what it was, bro. Pericles say, ain't nobody judging Rich. We all look at the Jet Beauty of the Week. Yeah. Brooklyn, what up? Milestone / Ebony Magazine always. I mean, look, I grew up, listen, I am a black man growing up in a black household with black folks. My growing up in my mom and dad's house, my mom and my dad read Ebony Magazine, Jet Magazine. My mom read Essence. That's what I grew up with in my household. Now, when I would go to my grandmother's house and I would go to spend time with my grandmother, I had aunts that lived with my grandmother, and they would read Bronze Thrills, Black Pulp Fiction. They would read those stuff, and I would wind up sneaking and reading that kind of stuff as well. That's really old school. If you know anything about Bronze Thrills, and of course I had uncles. We ain't gonna talk about them books. Yeah, I had a couple uncles had a stash. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Thank God for deliverance. What we got? Primal One says, plus on the other side, there's folks that make crappy music yet get awarded for subpar to trashy works. It's a sad thing. True. I think the problem with music, this is just my opinion. I think the problem with music is that there's no competition. There's no real competition in music today. People look at the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef battle or whatever was something legendary. It really wasn't. It really wasn't, in my humble opinion. Drake is a skilled MC. Kendrick Lamar is a skilled MC, right? But can't none of them dudes, respectfully, hold a candle to Black Thought. I put Black Thought, KRS-One, Rakim in a room with them. They would get washed. Smooth the Process, never heard of Bronze Thrills. Yeah, Google it, my brother. Yeah, Google it. So yeah, Black Thought, a goat for real. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Again, it's you know, it, I like music that, you know, back in the in and I don't want to be. Here's the thing: as an older guy, I don't. You listen to all my young people. You're gonna grow up to be just like me, if I can say it like that. And I don't want to be the old man that thinks that his generation had the best music or whatever. But I grew up in this. I grew up in the '70s with bands, and I grew up in the '80s when hip hop was starting to really take off. People talk about 1988 being the golden year of hip hop. I saw all of it, right? And so I saw music literally shift and transition and change. But now it's not even the same. You know what I'm saying? It's the instrumentation of it has been done away with. Everything is AI now. And it's like, okay. And young people can only they can only listen to what they're exposed to. So you have to take, like, when young people, whatever, you have to show young people, you know, music or musicality, like the Ohio players, like Earth, Wind, and Fire. If nothing else, they ain't got necessarily like the music, but just show them what real instrumentation is. Show them where these samples, some of these artists get their stuff from. Um, my favorite artist, as far as R&B, is Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes samples, other than James Brown, almost as many. Not a lot, not a whole lot, but there's a lot of Isaac Hayes. A lot of rappers owe Isaac Hayes some dough. I say it like that. Um, and a lot of people don't know his music until they hear the original or whatever, like the Ghetto Boys, Mind Playing Tricks. That was a sound. That was a song for a soundtrack. Hung Up on My Baby. Um, Public Enemies, Black Still in the Hour of Chaos. That's from the album Hot Buttered Soul. Um, you know, but these are things that, if, as an old guy listening to the original music and then hearing it pop up in rap songs or whatever, it kind of it gives you, it's like a double whammy, if I can say it like that. And so even when it comes to things like jazz, I love jazz. And so when hip hop on the East Coast was doing their thing, when Guru and Gangstar was doing all the jazz stuff along with Tribe or whatever, you couldn't tell me there was better music in the world, because I heard all of these samples. I've heard all of this music in the original music. But now today's music, it's not even. I heard one guy describe it as it's a vibe, and I don't. I would never describe '90s R&B, '80s R&B, '70s funk, '60s funk, '50s doo-wop as a vibe. But they call it a vibe in today's music. It's a trip, man. It's a trip. So Bobby Timmons, Miles Monk, Coltrane, yes. Um, Thelonious Monk is my favorite piano player. As far as trumpet, it's Miles Davis for sure. Saxophone, that's John Coltrane. Um, I love Sonny Rollins. Um, Grover Washington Jr. Clarinet, as far as that goes, is Najee. A lot of different stuff, man, and you know, music is it's just not the same. Even when I read comic books, I don't read comic books to a lot of different kind of music. It's usually jazz. It's usually, you know, '70s music or whatever. That's just kind of the vibe I go for when I read books or whatever, as far as music is playing. You know, but I don't want to. I don't want to just poo-poo on people's musical tastes today, because they only know what they know, if that makes any sense. As older guys, we have to do a better job in exposing them to where the music comes from. We don't really do that. We don't really, I mean, because the thing about us as Black people, I would say, it's a part of who we are. So we don't really necessarily have the quote unquote passion for it. It's like, okay, one of the things that when we came over here as slaves, one of the things that they outlawed was the drum. People want to know why hip hop, that boom bap or whatever, is so powerful or whatever, and why a lot of people can't stand it, especially a lot of white folks. They can't stand it because it's really the drum. It's all it is just the drum. Any other musicality that comes in or whatever is kind of like gravy. It's all about the drum and or the percussion. And so they understood that that's how we communicated. That's how tribes communicated with one another, was through the drum. You would hear somebody play something and you would hear a response. That's why music is so weird. Jazz, in particular, people didn't understand it when it was first created, because you were literally seeing these guys create music on the fly. It's like freestyling hip hop, except they were doing it with musical instruments. They were doing it with the drums. They were doing it with the clarinet. They were doing it with the saxophone. They were doing it with, and they would literally play these pieces that had no end, because they were really not having, it wasn't really playing a song. They were really communicating with one another. That's all really music is communication. So, yeah. Styles says she crazy. All right, Rich, you sounded like Jordan. You that dude. Stop. Stop. Prime One says you are correct. Young fans are mad basic. They won't look up a song, what inspired them, origin, the samples, hidden meaning, and bars. So if it ain't presented by mainstream media, they ain't gonna put the work in and search for hip hop culture and musical history. Yeah. Smooth approach. Grand Ole Opry was based on African music. Oh yeah, the banjo. Look, the banjo. That's straight out of Africa. Straight out of Africa. That's why this whole thing with Beyonce, quote unquote, doing a country music album is crazy to me, because, and people are actually being resistant to it or whatever on that side of the fence or whatever, because they think they own country music. Like, wait a minute, hold up, time out. Black folk created country music. Don't get that twisted. Because what we do sometimes with music is we'll do something or whatever, and then we'll leave it alone. We'll put it down and we'll go on to something else. That's kind of been the history of America with music. Blues, jazz, R&B, all of this stuff. It's got white faces to it now. Back in the day, it didn't. They used to call it race music. But people wouldn't know that because if you don't know the history, then you will not know that this is really your music. Most people, most Black people, look, back in the day, our parents, and see, this is something that young people will not really understand or know, but we didn't have a lot of channels back in the day. But we would watch Bonanza. We would watch the Grand Ole Opry. We would watch Liberace. We would watch all of this quote unquote white stuff because it was on our TV screens at the time. That's what we had for entertainment. Little did we know that our fingers, our roots were all in that music that they were doing. But we had no clue because we don't teach like we should. That's why going back to the MD Bright thing, one of the things that's frustrating about it is that we have a lot of MD Brights that we don't know. Shout out to Amani and others who study and collect and read Black historical comics. We have to do the research. We have to do the work to make sure that the people who are doing things now, that they are remembered tomorrow. Because they're trying to erase history right now. They're trying to erase it. They don't want you to even have no identity with this or anything else for that matter. Music is just one thing that they started to do like that. So yeah. Some states don't want us to know our history. Oh, for sure. Down south is crazy. It is crazy, especially Florida. Shout out to all of y'all that live in Florida. There's something in the water in Florida. And there's so much history there in Florida, especially Orlando. I got a chance to hang out with Paul in Orlando. We went to Edenville, home place of Zora Neale Hurston. Visited the museum there, and John Jennings' Black Kirby exhibit was there. And Eden is one of the oldest Black cities in America. And it's in Florida. But you guys got a thug named DeSantis that's trying to erase all the history out. I don't know what that's about, but okay. Y'all want to make white people feel at ease with some of the demonic stuff that they've done. Okay, fine. It's not up to them to allow it. It's up to us to teach it regardless. If you're not going to teach it in school, you teach it at the dinner table. But we got to teach it. It's got to be taught, because if we don't teach it, there will be no respect for Marcus Mosiah Garvey. There'll be no respect for Malcolm X, Dr. King, or anybody that came before us, because the kids won't know. The kids won't know. Ida Watch says they ban a book about someone's life experience integrating the Little Rock School. They have banned the Wilma Rudolph book. They've banned a lot of books. And here's the thing too. One of the things that they're doing now across the country is that they're shutting down libraries. You got to support your libraries. You got to go into a library. Listen, if you don't go in and buy and check out one book or whatever, you got to support libraries. They are quietly going around the country. A lot of schools don't even have libraries anymore, y'all. We gotta be on the watch. We can't just read these comic books. Shout out to us in Texas. We got the crazy hit too. Yeah, we do, but we got a lot of people that's knowledgeable. We got a lot. I mean, we got people everywhere to fight back all of this stuff. It's not like that we don't have no power. We just have to use the power that we have. Yep, that's what they're doing, Kay. Banning books that they don't even read. But you got to support your libraries, and you got to support Black-owned businesses, bookstores, and that kind of thing. They need your support. Down in Houston, Gulf Coast Cosmos, the only Black comic book store, the only Black-owned comic book store in Texas. It's in Houston. It's a small bookstore. But it's a comic shop. Black-owned. We got to support that. Bookstores everywhere. If you got a Black bookstore in your neighborhood, in your city, take the drive to support and patronize those businesses. We need them. We need them, y'all. Yeah. So we don't, Mr. DC Comics says, wow, I didn't know about the libraries. They want everything online so they can dictate what we learn. Absolutely. They not listening. I'm going to tell you something. and I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off here. White people are playing the long game, y'all. And what I mean by that is that they know that they will soon to be a minority in this country. So the thought is, I need to have the power and all the resources to be able to still have control. Because once they become a minority, their voting power diminishes, their influence diminishes. Y'all better learn some Spanish and some Chinese, because that's what's coming in the future. It's going to be a different world by 2050, a completely different world. But in order for them to quote unquote maintain power, they got to make sure that they got the power. And what they're doing is they're setting up their generations that's coming after them to be able to maintain and hold power. If you don't know your history, you condemn to repeat it. So if I don't know anything about a Malcolm X, if I don't know anything about a Medgar Evers, if I don't know anything about the civil rights movement or whatever, if I have no understanding of that, and I'm black, where am I going to get my identity from? Smooth approach. HISD school district shutting down libraries. Oh yeah, it's criminal what's happening in Houston. Brooklyn. I'm hoping Night Thrasher and Rage meet up with Marvel. Well, somebody got to write the story. Somebody got to write the story. Somebody got to write the story. But look, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Bring up either Watch's comment real quick. They will use those black people that don't know the history against us. Oh, they're doing that now. It's a lot of coons in critical spaces. It is. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all, because I could go another hour talking about some of this stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and get a benediction. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming, hanging out with your boy. We'll be back maybe in a week or two. I know my man Derek is gonna be out the country, but maybe we can get Paul to produce, or perhaps I'll hang out with them on Wakanda Whiskey. We'll see. Either way, want to just thank you guys for coming. Want you guys to continue to like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a hater, we don't care. Remember that we will be in Norfolk, Virginia in August for Atlantic Comic-Con. We're going to be there doing panel hosting, or I should say moderating panels. So I'll be there, Paul will be there, Derek will be there, Herschel will be there. So the whole squad's going to be in the building. So we're looking forward to that. And again, please pre-order your books. Pre-order your books so we can continue to get this good material. Right now, black comic book heads are feasting. There's a lot of good books out here, a lot of creators out here. And don't forget about the Epiphany Engine project, which starts on Juneteenth. That project, the Kickstarter, starts Juneteenth. That's the project that's going to have all of these different black independents coming together for this 192-page product, I want to say. It's going to be amazing. So you'll get more information as the days go by. So that's going to come up kind of quick or whatever, but that's when that Kickstarter starts, Juneteenth. So the 19th of June, which is a holiday or whatever, we're going to be a part of something amazing. So we want you guys to stay tuned for that. Also, stay tuned for some dope interviews that are going to be coming up pretty soon. I did mention Cheryl Eaton, I think earlier when we were talking about Black Panther. She's on the list. I can't give away the time or the date or whatever, but when we got it all etched in stone, you guys definitely hear about it. So with that said, let me go ahead and give the benediction. The benediction comes from Proverbs, the 16th chapter, verse 3. It says this: commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich. And until next time, or should I say Wednesday night with the wrap up, we'll see you. We love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Peace.